It is common for people to say that learning is difficult. Is it true? Learning is difficult? Well, it is a misconception. It is true only if you think so. There is another misconception that learning English as a second language is more difficult. But again, it is true only if you think so. However, learning English as a second language can be a challenging task to most of you. But once you get the hang of it, every effort and time you spend on learning this language will be worth it. By being fluent in English, you can get more benefits, many opportunities that can completely change your life. There are many ways to learn English. There are excellent techniques to learn English. I will be talking about the most effective techniques I used throughout my English learning journey. Previously, I have done 2 videos about my struggles of English learning. I performed those 2 videos in the language Sinhala. After that, some people asked me to do a video speaking in English. So here I am. And also, in response to those 2 videos, most of you have requested me to do more videos on English learning. I will, and more will be in the future. I know most of you already know how to learn English as a second language. There are thousands of YouTube videos on this topic. I mentioned before that I also tested most of those suggested learning methods I learned from YouTube videos. Here, I will be talking about the most effective methods that worked for me. This is my personal experience. One of the most common problems faced by English as a second language learners is vocabulary problems, forgetting words. Many of you also have requested me to give a solution for this. Well, we forget words, not only words. We forget most of what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we smell, what we do. Do you even remember what you ate last night? You don't, right? We forget things. It is normal. I talked about this problem, forgetting things, in one of my previous videos. The video on how to be an expert in any subject. If you have not watched it yet, watch it. It will help you to understand your brain and your learning process. It's all about being an excellent learner. We forget things and it is normal too. You know, our brain has its own cleaning process to clean unnecessary information, to get rid of the problem of information overload. So, we forget things. But the good thing is, we do not forget everything we experience. Even though we forget things, if we want, we still can save and store anything, whatever you want in your memory. To get this done, we need to know how to control, how to use our brain. Our brain is controllable, usable. Techniques are there. I think you also know many techniques already. But knowing those techniques is not enough. You need to use these techniques to unleash the limitless potential of your brain. Remember that your memory has a large capacity. For example, you know many stories you learn from the past, various type of stories, movies you have watched, fairy tales you have learned as a toddler, stories from the history, your own stories, news, gossip stories and more. Can you count how many stories you know? It is almost impossible. Just like these stories, you can store thousands of words in your memory. Your memory has a large capacity. Well, most of you have asked me about how to keep all those words in mind, how to remember. As you say, the problem is the moment you learn the word, you forget it after a while or immediately. Well, don't worry. Here's the solution. Method number 1. When you learn English, when you study English, study phrases, sentences, not words. Rather than studying one word at a time, study a whole sentence, a phrase. Studying a word without context makes no sense. Memorizing a word without a context makes no sense. That is why you forget words. If you know how to use it in a sentence and what they mean, it will be much easier to keep in mind. This is my first recommendation for you to learn English fast. Study phrases, not words. And remember to do it repeatedly, again and again. You know why the phrases like happy birthday, good morning, how old are you, what's your name are very comfortable for us to say at any moment. It is because we use those phrases very often. We are familiar with the sound of them. Just like those phrases, select the phrases you want, the sentences you want, and practice them. Practice really does make perfect. This is my first recommendation for you to learn English faster. Study phrases, not words. When you study phrases, say it again and again. Shout it out loud. Use it. Memorize it wherever you go. Do it until your brain gives a permanent place for it in your mind. So this is my first good method on ways to learn English. I have some more methods that I would be more than happy to share with you all. Keep in touch.